Okay, so you guys, tonight we have a very special guest. It's Jocelyn Yates. She's an Ambassador Diamond, Millionaires Club, all the good things, but I'm going to let her introduce herself. And then we had some leaders and other teammates come up with some questions for you. So go ahead and just tell us your story, and then we can dive in with some questions.
Awesome. I'm so excited, you guys. So I found this business, 7.5 years ago. It was January of 2013. I was modeling wedding dresses at a bridal expo. I wasn't engaged or anything, but I was at this expo. And so what do you do at expos? You enter all the free stuff. So I had no idea what It Works was or what the Ultimate Body Applicators were, but I entered to win one. And sorry, I'm reading down. And so I entered to win, and I got a phone call about a week later that I had won second place. I had won $5 off an applicator, which she told me what it did, that it was going to make me skinnier. I was like, cool, I want it. So I ended up getting that one from her and tried it. 45 minutes later, I didn't really have any results, but she said, keep drinking water for the next 3 days and you're going to get results. So I did that, and I was so much smaller that I was literally obsessed. I was like, I need this for my arms, my legs, my everything. And I was already a size 4 and I was already pretty skinny, but I wanted it. And so the wheels started turning a little bit when I told my mom and my sister, my sisters-in-law, and my friends about it. They all wanted it. And so the lady that I was buying mine from, just retail, she was like, hey, if you bring 4 people with you to a party, I will give you one for free. I was one of those people. I did it. I got one for free. And then after I made her about $300 that night from the people that I brought to this party, she was like, why don't you sign up to make money off of your family and friends instead of me making all this money? And it just made sense. Sorry if you hear a toddler crying. I locked her out of the room. And so I signed up. So from when I found the opportunity to when I signed up, it was like a month and a half. So I joined in the middle of March, and just between loyal customers, retail customers, and route cash or sample cash, I made $800 in my first month and a half, and then I did nothing. So I was 19, living at home. Like, we know people that have tried a business like that and they never made any money, so we're gonna let you do what you want, but don't get your hopes up. That's pretty much what they said. And so I wanted to prove my parents wrong, but I was just a busy college student. I was single. I wanted to hang out with friends. I literally did nothing with the business through the summer. My paycheck definitely suffered. I went from making that $800 to gradually my commissions check was definitely not paying for my auto shipment. I was making like $50. And I'll never forget, one day my mom turns to me and she's like, why are you still doing that business? You're not making any money. And I was like, well, yeah, I am. And she just spit up everywhere. Gross. I made this decision that I was going to prove her wrong. And so when you show up, you go up. I remember hearing that so often, and I decided right then and there that I was going to start showing up. And this was like August or September. I had just barely missed my scholarship deadline, so I then had to pay for my tuition out of pocket. Can you guys imagine that monthly payment? And I did not have help from family. So I needed to make an extra income. And that's when this business really, I had to make it work, because I just couldn't work full time and go to school full time, and I wasn't making enough. And so I started showing up to everything that I could, because I knew that was what I had to do. When you show up, you go up. I would drive 2.5 hours down to Vegas. I would show up to every stinking conference call that we had back then. We didn't have Zooms or videos, so it was conference calls. But the 2 things that really stuck out to me is one of the in-person trainings that I went to that was 2.5 hour drive one way to get to. I left that with the belief enough in myself to think, why don't I just shoot for it and see what happens? Because before, I would look at the steps to success, signing 6 customers and 3 distributors and thinking, that's too hard. I can't do it. I can't sign a distributor. To, I'm not even trying, but I just wasn't trying because I thought it was too hard. To just why don't I just shoot for it and see what happens? I decided to believe enough in myself to shoot for it. And so once I did that, guess what? The next month I completed my steps to success and I earned over $500 and I was able to make enough to pay for my tuition. And that's all I wanted. And it was perfect. But I had this epiphany. I was like, holy cow, I did the steps to success once and I made this awesome part-time income. So what if I just did it again? Would that double? And guess what? It did. And then I did it again and again. And so I ended up promoting to executive after being in the business for 9 months. And by the time I had been in for 1 year, I was a diamond. And then I knew how to be successful. It was literally the steps to success. And then the other thing that I showed up to was a training that taught me how to use Instagram. And that was how I was able to start completing my steps to success, was getting on, trying something new, trying a different platform that I wasn't used to. And so, and back then nobody did social media. It was literally expos and parties. So social media was new, like nobody really used it. And so then from there, so I went diamond in my first year. That next year I went from diamond to presidential. And then the next year after that, I went from presidential to ambassador. And so 3 years to the top. And then I hit the Millionaires Club after just 4.5 years. All before I had kids. Isn't that crazy? I met my husband when I was in this business. He was super against it when I first started. Had to convince him otherwise. And from there, you know, like it is such a blessing to know we have a huge chunk of change in the bank account. We have like this incredible home. We don't have to worry about paying the bills. My husband gets to follow his dreams of doing real estate and golfing. And we have just incredible daughters that we can provide the world for. And I'm just so thankful because I joined when I was 19 and I had no idea this is what my life would look like. I did not think that I could actually be successful. And so just know, like, if you are questioning and you see and you're like, I don't know if I could ever do that, just keep going because you never know. Like, I had no clue.
Oh my gosh, I love that. Your story is so amazing because you've like had a full transformation, like not just growth wise, but literally like went from single to newlywed to millionaire to mom of one to mom of two. Like you've gone through so many transitions in this business and just kind of been able to like prove, kind of over and over again that you can do this no matter what stage of life you're in or who you are or what's going on in your life. I love that so much. So one thing that you said that we kind of preach is you said that you basically had this like epiphany and you just had this like mind shift, this where all of a sudden you were like, wait, if I just do this. And so at any point in that mindset change, were you doing self-development yet, or did you start doing self-development like at a certain point in your business?
So, it is so funny that like I always look back on my journey and I always say like, did I even do self-develop? Like I can't remember doing it. Like I just can't. Like it's weird. But here's what I can say. I don't remember like listening to the books or reading audiobooks or any of that, but I know for a fact that I was reading my scriptures. Like and that's all, like that's what I was doing and it was enough. And so don't forget that filling your mind with God's words is personal development. So that's literally what I can remember doing up until presidential. And then at that point, because I was starting to surround myself with the other top income earners, I realized like, oh, they're talking about this book is super good. So then I would read that and do that and this. And so, but in the beginning, like I wasn't reading the Go for No or Magic of Thinking Big or any of that. I don't think I did until I was a presidential. It was literally just the Bible and the scriptures.
Yeah, so I've been in the business for 6 years. In June was 6 years, and so I've kind of like watched a lot of your trainings as I went along, and I can always remember throughout all of your trainings you're always talking about like a scripture that spoke to you or like a parable. Like I remember you using those specific words, so I knew that you were going to say, if I asked you like what's your like favorite personal development book that you'd probably say the Bible, but like other than the Bible, and when you started doing this, the books and stuff in, you know, presidential and beyond, do you have a favorite book now, would you say, or one that has really impacted your business and your life and just growth in general?
You know, I don't know if I necessarily have a favorite because it's like, do I have a favorite leadership book? Totally. Do I have a favorite book about network marketing? Totally. So if you want to dive into like the really fun ones that have to do with our industry, when I was first, like one of the very first ones that I ever read was Beach Money. That one's always really good if you want to build your belief in network marketing. Um, Another, there's two of them. There's Building an Empire. That's another really good one for network marketing, or Build to Last. Those are probably my three favorites as far as like network marketing goes, because they like, these are people that have been in the industry and built to the top in their companies. I don't even know if they still do network marketing, but they've made these books talking about how they did it and stuff that they implemented. And a lot of it is really just having systems in place. So I really loved those. As far as mindset goes, sorry, I'm gonna pick her up really quick. As far as mindset goes, you know, I love just like the classics, you know, Napoleon Hill, any of his, or I absolutely love The Strangest Secret, and also, what is his name? Earl Nightingale, anything from him. I love him, especially like he's so good at mixing scriptures with like the law of attraction. And when I listen to him, it all just makes sense. Cause like, you know, some of them that are just like talking about the universe and stuff, like it goes over my head and I'm like, that does not make any sense. But when he applies the scriptures to it and explains like this is God's word, but it's also the science, it makes sense. So I loved his for that. The one I'm listening to right now that I'm actually really excited about, if you need help with like money mindset, is Bob Proctor, You Were Born Rich. It's on Audible. It's like a program and it has a PDF that goes with it. But that's one that I'm really enjoying, and it's had like a lot of really good nuggets, and I'm only in like the first two chapters still.
Yay, thank you so much. We love asking that question just because we're really big on self-development over here. And so any new books, anything new that the team can be reading, we love. So, all right. You kind of shared this with the VIPers, but quickly tell us a little bit about your routine right now, since you are a mom of two little tiny ones, and you know you're killing your business, and you know, great wife, great body. You said all these things in the VIP, and it's in the VIP Zoom, and it's so true. Like, how are you managing all these things throughout the day?
Yeah, so I'm going to read to you the quote that I shared in that, because when I read this for the first time, when I heard it, it changed my life. Instead of saying, I don't have time, try saying it's not a priority and see how that feels. Often that's a perfectly adequate explanation. I have time to iron my sheets, I just don't want to. But other things are harder, try it. I'm not going to edit your resume, sweetie, because it's not a priority. I don't go to the doctor or work out because my health is not a priority. If these phrases don't sit well, that's the point. Changing our language reminds us that time is a choice. If we don't like how we're spending an hour, we can choose differently. And so when I first read that quote, it hit me so hard, because I was like, okay, I say I want to have this MILF body. I say I want to have this incredible relationship with my husband. I say I want this awesome business with really good friendships. I say I want to have a good relationship with my kids, but then what am I actually prioritizing? And I found myself, you know, going through my days, scrolling on my phone, on my social media, and watching shows. And I was like, why is this my priority? Like, it's not benefiting my life. And so when I kind of just held myself accountable to that, I knew I had to start setting up a routine. And like, for the longest time, like I really struggled after I had my first, not with like PPD or anything like that, but like I struggled with this thought of like, you know, thinking I'm just not in this season to be super successful because I'm busy being a mom. And I think a lot of the times we do that, where we just think I don't have enough time to do everything that I want in this business and be a mom and a wife and do all the stuff that I want to, but you do. And for me, I kept telling myself that, but it was because I wasn't prioritizing it enough. And so for me, I knew I had to have that routine set in place where I was getting up earlier than my kids. You know, sometimes you have to sacrifice now. Um, what does that quote say? Sacrifice for what you want, or what you want becomes the sacrifice. And the things that I want for my family and the goals that I have for my life are too big to sacrifice. So I know that it's worth it getting up a little bit earlier than my kids. And it's worth it, you know, holding myself to that standard of like, okay, instead of scrolling through my phone and just taking forever to do stuff through the day, and all of a sudden it's noon and the only thing that's gotten done is my kids have had breakfast, you know, and you're like, where did my time go? Probably on my phone. I just decided, okay, I'm going to be productive about it. And so for me, like when I get up in the morning, it's only like an hour or two before my kids, but I just still lay in bed, but I'm still able to get work done. So setting that routine for me, like I know once I get up, if I don't put my workout clothes on, I'm not going to work out. So that's another thing that you can easily start to implement. And then I know, like, if I don't work out in the morning, that if I wait, then I'm not going to be as productive if I don't get ready for the day. So then I just get my workout over with in the morning, because most of the time when I don't anyways, and I'm just laying there doing nothing, the morning goes by and nothing for my business gets accomplished either. So the morning for me is my time to really, you know, do that personal development for myself, with my body, with making sure my kids are fed, with working out, with getting ready. I shared this earlier, but and I know you guys are going to feel this too. The days that you are the most productive are the days that you work out and get ready for the day, every time. So if you feel like you haven't been productive, take a look and think, okay, when's the last time that I felt super productive? And I bet you probably got ready that day. So for me, that's something that I look back on, and some of the reasons why when Taylor was first born, that I struggled with feeling like I had enough time to work my business, because I wasn't getting ready for the day. And I feel like for whatever reason, having that in your routine just makes you more productive. And so I do that in the morning. And as I'm like getting ready and working out, that's when I'll like listen to personal development. Or I have the app Think Up. If you don't have it, it's incredible. I did pay for, I don't remember how much it was, but it's this orange one with the leaf. It's called Think Up. And you can literally write your affirmations and record them in your voice and just push play and listen to it. And I don't know what it is, but it's so powerful to hear yourself saying it. And so I love listening to that. And then once the girls go down for their naps, sometimes I get really lucky and they'll both sleep at the same time for like 2 hours. And so that's like my prime, like middle of the day nap time is like when I'm doing my income producing activities the most. And then like before I get out of bed in the morning, that's when I'm like making sure I responded to all the messages, posting to my story, things like that. And then, you know, my afternoon is a lot of like helping and coaching my team, and then, you know, creating new content for my pages to bring more people in, sending out messages, host to post, those types of things. But it wasn't until I started getting crystal clear with having a routine of like when I did stuff during the day and prioritizing it, that's when things started to change for me. And like it, I mean, it sucks, but in reality, you have to realize if you want to be successful, you have to be willing to let go of the thought that you can be lazy. You know, because like I think sometimes we just think like, man, like I wish I could just be ambassador and not have to work my business so freaking hard, because then I just have all this money coming in and I can do whatever I want. But I don't know a successful person that does nothing. You guys, like, as an example, one of my best friends in this business is Christy Christensen. She's the #3 income earner, and she is one of the hardest workers I know. And she's got 4 kids at home. Like, she's busy, but she does it. And she has so much fun with it. And you have to get rid of the idea that you're going to arrive at this destination and get to just do what you want, because that's not the whole purpose. The purpose is to enjoy the journey and enjoy the process of who you're becoming. And once you do that, then all of a sudden you fall in love with your routine because you realize that it's that routine that gets you exactly what you want. Just like I said in the quote, it's those priorities that you set that end up giving you that body that you've always wanted to, or the marriage that you've always wanted, or the business that you've always wanted. And once you make that priority and set the routine, man, your life's going to change so quick.
That's so good. I loved what you said about making sure that you're having fun doing this too, because I think so often we have these like lofty goals, and that's so good to have goals and to be driven and to run after them, but we work so hard to reach them that sometimes there's like burnout, and if you're not having fun in this business, you're not going to be successful in this business. Like, it's meant to have fun along the way. And you'll see that too in the tippity top, the people up there, like, they're not just happy because they have a lot of money. They're happy because they're truly and genuinely having so much fun every day, working their business. And I love that. So thanks for mentioning that, because I've been there a million times where I'm like, oh my gosh, I worked so hard. And then I see like prelims and I'm like, wait, what? And then I go into this spiral, and then I just have to remember, like, okay, I can be like a turd about this for a week and it's going to set me back even more. Or I can like remember why I started this in the first place and what I was doing when I was having fun and enjoying this. Okay, cool. I have like 206 more questions, so I'm going to have to skim through and figure out what ones. Okay, this one's important, because you're kind of the queen of this. So as far as your posts go, you are, and we've actually like talked about you, I think maybe last week in our training, where you're kind of the queen of like sharing your story a million different ways, but without fail, sharing your story every single day. So share some tips on how you even like come up with that content. Like, obviously, your story, but like, how do you think of these different ways to share that?
Yeah, so if you watched the summer camp that we had last month, Claire Flores did an incredible job pretty much summarizing how to write your story. And a lot of what I do is what she said, but it's all about, sorry, she's like trying to eat and she's not quite there. Okay, I think she got it. So it's all about telling your story in a way that other people are going to relate. So it's like a fairy tale. Everybody loves fairy tales, right? So let's just use Cinderella as an example really quick. So when you're telling your story, if I was Cinderella, I would talk about my before. I would talk about the things about my life or my past that I just didn't like. So she would talk about how she just had to clean and nobody loved her, whatever. And whatever it is about your past or where you're at now, you talk about the struggle that you had and what you didn't like about it. And then the next thing that you do is you talk about that fairy godmother and how that saving grace came into your life so that you could make the difference. And of course, we know that's this business. You talk about how you found this opportunity, however way you found it, through social media or whatever. And maybe at this point then talk about a fear that you had. I never thought that somebody like me could be successful in this. I've always been shy, something like that. And then you talk, depending on where you're at in your journey, you can share the success that you've had, like what you've been able to accomplish. So, with Cinderella, she can share her happy ever after, whereas maybe we haven't arrived yet. So then we can talk about what we're going to do and where we are going. People join people that know where they're going. So even if you're not there yet, they're still going to want to join you because you have that vision and you have that drive and that desire. So, then as an example, and I'm sure maybe you even read my post that it's been about this. So one of the things that I share, I'll give two different examples, was when I was first looking at this business, I was living at home, as I had mentioned, and there were times where I just did not have enough money to pay for the things that I needed. And it was so embarrassing for me as a 19-year-old to have to go to my parents and ask, hey, can you take me to the grocery store so I can go get some shampoo because I don't have enough money? Like I couldn't afford shampoo. I ran out of money. And so I talk about that and how it was embarrassing. And then I talk about how I knew I needed to make an extra stream of income. So I decided to start this business And then depending on where you're at, you can say, and I'm so thankful that I'm now able to make enough extra income that I can go to the grocery store and not only buy everything that I need, but some of the stuff that I want without worrying about the price tag. It can be something as simple as that. Or another one is like, I remember right after my husband and I got married, we were visiting some friends in another state, and we literally did not have enough money in our bank account to fill our gas tank up to get home. And so I talk about how like just ashamed and embarrassed I was that that happened and that that was our life at the moment. And it was then, you know, that I decided that I was going to do something about it because I never wanted to feel that way again. And so, you know, I jumped into this business and I've been able to not only pay for all of my gas tanks, but save a ton to be able to pay for all the future ones too. Just something like that. Because when you talk about something that you really struggled with and the reason why you decided to join in the business, other people struggle with those same things too. And that's what people relate to. That's how you're going to pull on their heartstrings. They're going to connect with you on that emotional level. And then once you do that, anything that you say next about the business and how it's been a big blessing to you, then they think, I bet I want to know if I can do that too. And then that's when they reach out. And then, of course, at the end of your post, the most important thing is to have a call to action where you say, you know, if you've been praying or hoping or searching for a way to make an extra income, to make things easier for your family, if you've been looking for something to pay for tuition or whatever, message me the word business to this phone number or whatever, something that they can do. So if it's like a story, comment the word business or vote on this poll, or I always say text opportunity to this phone number. So just having a call to action, something super simple that they can do, leave an emoji below, and then that way you can give them more information. So I think the biggest thing is being okay with being a little bit vulnerable with bits and pieces of your story. And, you know, just like Claire talked about, it's more important to talk about the struggles that you had and the feelings around that than it is the success or where you're going, because people can't necessarily, like if, you know, when I tell my story now, people can't relate to being an ambassador and what that income is, but they can relate to not having enough money in their bank account to buy groceries. So being able to talk about that and then say, because of this opportunity, I don't have to worry anymore. I don't even have to say anything about what rank I am, but that's going to pique their interest.
Oh, so good. Thank you. Yeah, and any of you guys that haven't watched the summer camp yet, definitely go back and check that out because Claire's was amazing, but I felt like every segment was so good. I was just scribbling notes so quickly. I was so, so good. Um, okay, let's see what else we have here. All right, so this one is a little bit about casting vision for your team. So how do you cast vision for your team? And then it's like a two-part question they said, and how do you keep that vision, especially for newbies who are struggling to really get traction with their business?
So I think the biggest thing is really thinking long term, you know, like, and I don't know if I have them on my YouTube right now. I need to go through because I know I've got income claims in some of them, so I've like made them all private for now so I can get rid of those ones. But you know, I remember looking, as an example, look at the income disclosure statement and talk with your new distributors about this. You know, if you're looking at that income disclosure statement, just go, okay, which income on here would be like an absolute dream come true and would change your family's life? Like, I remember looking at that income chart, seeing double diamond, thinking, I'm never going to make that much money in my life. Like, I didn't know that more than that for me was possible. And so that was like the cap for me. I didn't think I could make more. And so I share this story because once I made that much, I knew I could go all the way to the top. And so, but looking at that income disclosure statement, when you say, okay, what's your goal income? If they say, you know, like triple diamond, that would change my family's life, whatever, then you say, okay, look, this is the average time it takes to go triple diamond. So if you are willing to invest in this business, like at least an hour a day for the next, I don't remember what the average time for triple diamond is. Let's just say 3 years to making the average income of a triple diamond. You know, that at that point you're about making 6 figures a year. And let's just say it takes you 3 years to get to triple to be making that 6 figures a year. Isn't that still worth it? 1 hour a day? It's totally worth it. And so that's something that I love doing, is breaking it down and thinking like, okay, if it takes that long, isn't it still worth it for your family? Because to me it is, or even just thinking really long term, like what if it takes you 8 years to promote to ambassador? Where else do we still have that opportunity in 8 years from now to be averaging what an ambassador averages anywhere else with no degree, or no experience, really? That's the cool thing with this. So I love sharing that, because when you get it, the potential is crazy. And then I always start by saying this business is like riding a bike. So I am like your dad holding on to your bike, here to teach you and coach you what I know on how to ride a bike so that your journey is going to be easier. But at first, yeah, it's going to be hard. You're not going to know what you're doing. It's going to be hard to balance everything. But then once you get the hang of things, and with my help, like, you're going to learn how to pedal, and you're going to learn how to use it without training wheels. And then all of a sudden, you're just going to be able to take off and go on your own. And then now, you're teaching other people how to ride their bike. And I think if you can teach them that perspective, that the hardest it's going to be is right now, and it just gets easier from here, knowing if I stick with this, I will be successful. Like, I have now been in this business for 7.5 years, and I can firmly tell you the people that I see succeeding are the ones that committed and said, okay, it's worth it if I stick with this for that long and I just work it every single day. If you're not consistent, it's not going to work. You know that. Like, just like if you want to be a master piano player, if you don't practice, you're never going to get there. It's the same principle. So, I love sharing that. And then another thing is, like, just like me, I never believed enough in myself that I could go beyond double. And it wasn't until my upline said, yes, you can. And so pouring that belief into your team too, like I can just on this Zoom, I can say, Jess Roberts, I know you can do it. I know you're going to go ambassador one day. Or just whatever, like showing them that they can. But then that also means that you need to think in the perspective, instead of, I don't know if this person's going to work, or I don't know if they really want it, because I know we have these thoughts of our new distributors or our potentials. Every single person that you are talking to and every single distributor that you sign up, you have to believe they are your next diamond and treat them as if they are your next diamond, instead of treating them with, oh, I don't know if they're going to do anything, because they're going to follow whatever you believe about them.
Oh man, that last part was so good and such a truth bomb for me. Like, you have to think of them as your next diamond. You have to think of everybody as your next diamond. So good. Love it. All right, so we have 10 minutes. And this is something that I want you to spend a little bit of time on, because this is personally for me. So last month, I think it was last month, you signed like 30 plus distributors on TikTok, right? So I need to hear all things TikTok from you. And I know you like already have training specifically on this, but I just need to hear it straight from you right now. Tell me all the secrets, because here's what I do. I go on TikTok and then I spend 4 hours on TikTok going through the For You page looking for ideas. So like, I am trying, but it goes downhill from there. So just give us some of your best tips for TikTok, and then we will let you go on your way with your beautiful family.
Okay, so I have a system, and I'm really excited about it, because I feel like, if you don't have a system, you will get sucked into the black hole of TikTok. So, all right. So first and foremost, there's two sides to TikTok. Like, you have to first figure out like videos that you can create, how to grow followers, but then it's also like posting about the business and the products. So, there was a TikTok training from corporate like last week, and then we also had a TikTok training on the summer camp. Those are really good to watch also, because the people that are on there, you can go to their pages for different ideas on like ways to post about the products or ways to post about the business. You can steal ideas from me. So like, as an example, One of the girls on TikTok training for summer camp, Brianna, she posts about the products all the time about how it's been able to help her get back into shape after having a baby. And so I was like, well, I'm just going to copy her idea. So I totally did it. And I've already signed up 2 customers this month from it. So I was like, cool. And the cool thing is the way that she did the video was she just pretty much sends them her website link and tells them to order, and they do. And so I was like, oh, I'm going to do that. And I literally have never talked to these 2 people, and they just signed up on my website. So I was like, all right, this is my kind of customers. So, but literally, if you want to start growing on TikTok, you never know what's going to go viral on TikTok. So I literally just made a video for my team about this, and I was going to upload it on YouTube earlier, but I totally didn't have time. And so I'll just kind of summarize that, but I'm going to stick it on YouTube so you'll be able to find it if it's a little bit more in depth. But the 3 ways that I grow my followers on TikTok, the first way is posting consistently 1 to 4 videos every single day. You never know what's going to go viral. There's some days that I'm just not in the mood to make a video. You're going to get there. You can post old videos that you've already made, funny moments that your kids have done. My very first video that I ever made that went viral, super viral, millions of views, was a video of my daughter when she was 11 months old, glaring at me. That's what it was. And it got so many views. And the cool thing is a lot of the times, when people see a funny video, they'll follow you so they can see other videos that you post, or whatever it is. So posting consistently 1 to 4 videos a day. The way obviously that you're going to find ideas for posting, sometimes it's scrolling through the For You page. So if you're like me and you get sucked into the black hole sometimes, if you know that about yourself, set a timer. Set a timer for 10 or 15 minutes, and then once the timer goes off, either make a video of your own or get off TikTok. And so that's kind of what I've been doing that's been working really well for me. And then, so the second thing, and you're going to see these in the For You page all the time, make a video that says something along the lines of if you're seeing this, or if I'm on your For You page, we probably have some things in common, and then name some generic things that are pretty broad scale, but that still are your target demographic. So as an example, I just made one today that says, if you're seeing this, we probably have some things in common. You're in your 20s, you're a new mom, you spend way too much money on baby clothes, and also too much time on TikTok. Add me. I made a video like that, and so now, and then in the caption, I was like, tell me how many kids you have. And so all of these new moms are commenting, telling me about other kids, and they're all adding me as friends, so I'm adding them back. So I'm growing my network that way, but not only that, they're my people. They are my target demographic of people that I want to join my business. And so it's really cool that you can be so specific that way so quickly. I love that. And it works with anything, if you're a single mom, that can be something you post about. If you're over 30, you can post about that. I see those on my timeline all the time, but I told TikTok I wasn't 30, so I quit seeing them as much. So that was kind of cool. Posting those types of videos, I've had several of those go viral, 600,000 plus views. And those are the videos that I've gotten the majority of my followers from. And I have I'm hoping to hit 250,000 by the end of this week. So, and then the third one is finding not necessarily a niche. You always hear people in TikTok say, oh, you have to find your niche and just post about that. I still post everything, because I'm posting about the products, posting about the business, posting kids stuff, posting funny lip syncing stuff. But what you want to do is find something that you can bring value to other people. So as an example, the ones that I love doing are things I have for my babies that make sense, things that just make my life easier. And I show little baby items that I have that other new moms would be like, oh my gosh, that's genius, I need that, or whatever it is. And so I make these quick little videos with 4 or 5 little things that I have that just make my life easier. And then at the end of the video, I say, follow for part 2 or follow for more. And so I'm getting all these people that want to follow for those ideas, and then they follow me. Maybe it's you're really good at makeup, so they could follow you for that. Maybe it's you're an awesome chef and you can cook these awesome meals or quick dinner ideas. I've seen some that are house cleaning tips. there's so many different things that you can do with it, but or the ones where they tell a story and then it gets to the most suspenseful part and they're like, oh, we ran out of time, follow me for part 2. Or just whatever, you know, just like adding that little thing. Those ones have also done really well for me. You see the ones all the time that are like awesome things you need from Target or TJ Maxx or Amazon or whatever. People eat that stuff up. So doing those types of things, those are some of the videos that I've had that have gone more viral, that have helped me to get followers. And then the nice thing about that then is I have all of these people that are coming to my page from different stuff that all of a sudden when I post about the business, like I haven't checked since I posted earlier today. Well, I don't think I posted about the business yet today, but literally every time I now post about the business or the products, I always get at least 20 leads like that, like just 20 new people interested. And so then usually, you know, because the cool thing with TikTok is, you know, kind of how like Instagram, once you make the post, usually it dies after 24 hours and you don't get any more people interested from that post. TikTok, your video from 3 months ago could still go viral and people could still be seeing it. And so it's really cool because now, you know, from being on TikTok for a few months, I still have videos from months ago that I'm still generating leads from. So it's just cool because it just starts snowpiling. And then every once in a while, you know, what if one of your business TikToks goes viral? And that's what has happened to so many other people that you've seen. Like I know, as an example, Brittany Cromwell that just went ambassador, she had one of her business video on TikTok went viral, over 1 million views, and she got 10,000 leads, like 10,000 potential distributors. She couldn't even respond to them all. So, and it's just crazy because you never know what's going to happen. And the first time I ever had this happen, where I had a business one to go viral, it was at a conference, and I don't even have the video on my TikTok anymore because it had a number on it. It said if you want to make like $2,000, $500 to $2,000, so I took it down. But when I posted that video, I posted it Thursday night at conference, and by the time like the conference was over from announcing the top 150, I had 250 new leads. And I was like feeling like a baller. So, but that's the cool thing is like you can all of a sudden reach all these people that are your target demographic so much easier. And then I have a video on my YouTube on how to do a business post with the income disclosure statement. So just go ahead and watch that on your own time. But then, yeah, so I'm posting 1 to 4 videos that are not necessarily about the business or the products. And then I don't even post about the business or the products every single day. I post about it when I run out of, like when I feel like I'm not getting as many leads every single day. My goal is at least 10 new people that I'm talking to every day. And if I'm not getting at least 10, then I'm going to post another one. And so, but it's so much fun. Like I seriously have so much fun. And then kind of just like organization, because I'm not big on organization, but I feel like I have to on this app if I want to really be able to be successful with it. So kind of what I do is anytime you are scrolling through the home feed, like the For You page that shows you video ideas, when you're watching, don't just watch to entertain yourself, but watch yourself, like watch videos thinking, is this something that I can replicate? Is this a sound I can use? Can I lip sync to this? Anything like that. So that's what I'm looking for. And when I find a video that I'm like, I could probably do that, that's when I give it a heart. So, you know, like how it has the hearts or whatever, that's when I'll tap on it and I'll heart it. And now I know like all of my videos that I've hearted, these are things that I think I can copy. And so then when I'm like, shoot, I need to post something on my TikTok, depending on my mood, I might go all out and do a lip sync and take 20 minutes to figure out how to get my words to match what they're saying. Or I'll do one of those quick ones that you don't have to do anything with. So, but that's the nice thing is if that's all I do. And then it's just being creative. Like some of the most simple ones that I've had that have been awesome for the business, like some of them are so simple, but they've been so awesome. Like just as an example, one of the ones recently that went viral-ish. I mean, I don't remember how many views it has, but all my videos have like, except for the most recent ones, all of them have like tens of thousands, if not more views. Was all, like literally all my video said was, I help moms make money from home promoting health and beauty products. And I help every step of the way. It said something like that. And then I just had them message me the word TikTok on Instagram. And so now the cool thing is, if, which I don't think it will, but if TikTok gets banned in the US, I still have all the leads in my Instagram, so I don't lose those people. So that's what I've been doing, is just filtering them over to Instagram instead of having them fill out an application, just because then like they're following me on there, they'll start seeing the products in my story more often and get even more interested. Plus then if TikTok goes away, I'm still fine. So, but yeah, that's kind of what I've been doing. Yeah. Any other questions?
That was really good. This is how like boom boom I am. I didn't even know you could heart it, and it's basically like creating a collection of all the things you've hearted. I legit screenshot every single video that I like. Like I'll go back to that later because I think I can pull that off. So that, thank you. That tip right there helped me a lot. But Jocelyn, thank you so much. Everything you shared tonight was so valuable, so fire. And I have like my messenger on Facebook is filled of all the girls on here like, this is so good. I love this girl. She's got all the good tips. And it's so true. So thank you so much for taking time to pour into us tonight. And we just really appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me.
All right, guys, have a great night. Thanks for jumping on. We'll talk to you soon.